Oscar Bevis, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast here at York Hall. For Chris Bourke and Mark Leach for the British title, joined by too sharp Denzel Bentley. Mate, I haven't seen you in absolutely ages. I feel like I've just met you again.
You've been busy, innit? Flying around the world and stuff, living a good life. That's why.
Just doing my thing, and I just do my thing. Yeah, Denzel, I spoke to Linus the last time. I was at York Hall, actually, about this fight, and I think that was just after the Sauerlands won the purse bid for the fight. But just looking at it from an outside perspective, you can see why people wanted this fight, because it's just such a good fight.
It is a good fight. It is a good fight. We had a chance to make it a while back, but it's obviously better that we're making it now. So it's a good fight, man. I can't wait for it.
Why is it important that this fight is for the British title now, as in terms of making it when it could have been made back then? Do you think?
Because there's no one else in contention for it right now. I think he just vacated his English title, so he was the English champion. Which next from that is the British. I was the former British champion, obviously before Felix, of course, but he vacated or got stripped or whatever the case may have been, and the next person in line would have been me. I think they offered Danny Dignam, but he was moving on to, continue his quest to world level, which you can't blame also. So I think the next person in line was me. So that's how I got made, or the board put it forward or whatever, and we're here now.
Just one of them where at this time it makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%. It makes more sense than it would have back then, but you know me already, I don't really care who I fight when I fight them. I'm just trying to get active.
Does that say a lot about your mentality, should I say? Because, like you said, you were British champion and then fought Felix, and now you're fighting Linus. These are two fights that are seriously hard fights, 50-50s people will call them, for the British belt, where really, we've seen people pick up British belts in the past where they haven't fought in fights that are as evenly contested as these. Yeah,
100%. Obviously, some people get looked after better than others. Just saying that in the nicest way possible, so they get a better chance or better or easier fights at those titles, or maybe their weight classes aren't as competitive as the middleweight weight classes or other weight classes. So some people just they have a nice touch, and fair play to them, they still win it and move on and whatever. But mindset, whatever you want to call it, I fight for a living, so I'm not here to just be turning down fights and saying, oh no, I don't want this, I want that. That's what I do. I'm in the gym every day. If a fight comes up and I feel like I can win, I'm taking it, and that's pretty much most fights that I've taken. So yeah.
What do you see in Linus as sort of his main strengths?
He's a good fighter. He's a good fighter, man, all round. I can't pick out anything specifically, but he's a good fighter, and I know that I got to be switched on 100% when I go in for this fight.
What would you say you've learned? Because I don't think I've spoke to you since the Felix defeat. What would you say from then to now you've learned, not just as a fighter, perhaps about yourself, that in this fight will put you in better stead?
Yeah, just a lot of things. You go back to the gym, you work on certain things. Just me as myself, because as soon as I lost that fight, I was willing to get straight back out. Whereas I probably felt like, oh, if I lose, I'm going and hiding. Do you know what I mean? When I didn't. So when it got
you learn a lot about yourself from a loss, you're saying, basically.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, exactly. So like when it got to it, it was like I reacted differently than maybe I would have expected to. But that's just me. Like I say, I like to fight, so I'm going to be in these kind of challenging fights. I think this is what gets me up. I don't really like having too many easy fights. You know what I mean? Because I'm in the gym all year round. To be in the gym working that hard to just come in and have an easy fight. Mentally, I won't be switched on. I want to be mentally switched on. I want to be in good fights that people are going to remember. But yeah, other than that, it just is what it is, isn't it? Like, we're here now, me and Linus, it's not long to go now, so yeah.
We know how good of a fighter you are, so there ain't going to be motivation for, and I know you had a fight after the fight with Felix, and one where you were the favourite and whatnot, just to get ticking again, but you don't get the motivation, I suppose, from fighting 6-rounders and things like that, when we know what sort of level of fighter you are.
Yeah, no, like, what am I doing fighting 6-rounders? You know what I mean? Like, I'm past that stage. I don't want to be in the ring to just be in the ring. You know what I mean? I want meaningful fights. I think even before the Linus fight got put by the board, you saw the list of names I put out on Twitter. Maybe you didn't, but I put out a few names, and they were all comparing fights that I was after. I'm not into the 6 rounds, 8 rounds. Championship fights are only for me, man. That's where I want to be. That's the level I think I'm at. So.
And obviously, look, you can't sort of predict the future and whatnot, but if you were to win this fight against Linus, stay injury-free and whatnot, genuinely, this 2022 could be massive for you. You could end the year as, I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but you could end the year as like a European champion or something, because this British is a springboard, isn't it? You'll be pleased to win it, but it's a springboard, so you genuinely could have the biggest 2022.
100%. It's just, this year is about getting back what I lost and getting more. So like you said, by the end of the year, God willing, I'll be more than British champion, but one step at a time, one fight at a time. You know what I'm saying? So we got Linus first, get out of the way of that, and then we'll see. Then doors will open, and we'll see what's available there. So, like you said, European champion, probably on the verge of fighting for a world title eliminator. Anything could happen. Anything could happen, and that's for the winner of this fight, not just me. So everyone's gonna be, on their A game. So I can't afford to not be in my A game.
Right, we've got a main event coming up. This is going to go out after, so we're going to play a game of Mystic Meg, because I know you know Chris Bork very well. When this is played back, you're either going to look really stupid or really clever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, because I know you're going to say Chris is going to win, he's your boy. How does Chris Bork win this fight?
I think he wins by knockout. I think he wins by knockout. I think he can win by knockout.
He's a puncher, isn't he? You can see he hurts people.
I don't know how. I don't know how, but he can bang. But yeah, he's a puncher, he's a big puncher. I've only seen one fight of Mark Leach. He's a good fighter, by the way. I saw that Cash Asfak fight, and that was a sick performance. But I do see he gets sloppy, he gets a bit tired, starts dropping his guard and that, and tries to, drops his guard, leaves his hand in the air, and tries to be slick and during the middle rounds. And I think those middle rounds are what's going to cost him in this fight. Chris is good at keeping his shape. He knows how to keep his shape, and he would just keep trying to land that shot all night. And when it lands, he's going to feel it.
Right, brilliant. Thanks for giving me some of your time, mate. And shout out to Patmore Estate.
Come on, you know about Patmore.
I know about it because my mate lives there. Do you know what? He lives there, and he said to me about 2 months ago, he went, "You don't really like boxing." He said to me,
cool.
"Everyone knows this boxer that lives at the Patmore called Denzel something." I went, "Denzel Bentley." He went, "Oh yeah, that's him." I was like, "Fucking hell, man." So shout out to Patmore Estate.
Shout out Patmore, man. They know.